All right, so we're almost there. This is number 10 in our Absolute Beginner series for trumpet. So what we want to do is put together everything we've learned and use that to play a simple piece. And hopefully use the tools we learned from this to find other pieces of music on the internet and do all kinds of other things. Say if you just go and look up sheet music for Star Wars or sheet music for whatever, you'd be surprised how many things you can find right away. Now, some of them may be too hard to do right away because maybe you don't know enough for your higher notes to play them, but you'd be surprised how many different things, especially if you say beginner trumpet music for whatever. Okay? So we're just going to use something that's public domain so we don't get this pulled down. We're going to use basically Mary Had a Little Lamb or Merrily We Roll Along. It's the same melody. Okay? So first thing we want to do is break this into phrases. So in music we have phrases just like in spoken language we have phrases. So if I say, the other day I went to the... That doesn't make any sense, right? There needs to be more. Same thing with music. If I play like this and go... That doesn't make any sense either. Okay? When you listen to Merrily We Roll Along or Mary Had a Little Lamb, it's kind of like a question and an answer, question and answer. So the first question is, and then the answer is, but there's still more. So we it's almost like you answer the question with a question, and then we get one more reply, or well, two more. Next reply is, and then our final reply is, and it's finally over. Okay? So it's kind of like a little dialogue, like someone saying, why didn't you do your homework yet? And saying, why don't you leave me alone? They're like, why didn't you do your homework? And you're like, okay, I'll do my homework. I don't know, something like that. So we're going to look at this all written out in a second, but I'm also going to talk you through it. Now, I think it's really important to be able to get music into your mind a few different ways. Now, one way would just be listening to it. That'd be amazing if you can just listen to music and hear what's going on, but that takes a lot of time to develop. Hopefully we'll be covering that in future series down the line. But for right now, two things that are really important is being able to read it, which we'll be doing in a moment, and also being able to talk with someone about it. Because sometimes you might not have sheet music with you, but you may have someone that knows something and maybe they want to tell you about it, okay? And if they talk to you about it, hopefully that means something. So you don't want them to have to go, well, it goes like this, then 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 it goes like this, because that's too much to think about, right? You're not going to remember that. But if you can use your notes, you know, it's a little bit easier to put it together, okay? So our first phrase for Merrily We Roll Along goes E, D, C, D, E, 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 right? E, D, C, D, E, E, E. Let's try playing that. Okay, our second phrase goes D, 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 and then E, G, G, like this. And if you're feeling kind of fuzzy on your notes, you want to go back and review those because this is something we want to be comfortable enough to where we can talk about it just like this now. If it's just a little bit too fast, you can go back and rewatch that part, but we're also going to look at it really in depth and work at how to read it and practice reading something new, even if it's something you've never heard before, okay? But for right now, let's just talk through this. So that's our first two phrases. Our third phrase is the same as the first one. So again, it's E, D, C, D, E, E, E. E, D, C, D, E, 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 like this. And then our last one is D, D, E, D, C. This. So if you can put that all together. Okay. Now, if you were able to follow that, awesome. If you weren't, though, don't worry. That can be a lot to deal with when you're still new to the instrument. So that's why we're going to look at ways that we can read it and practice it and learn it little by little. If that was just overwhelming and a lot to deal with all at one time. So let's look at this written out and talk about some good ways to practice new material when you're trying to learn something new. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so we're not only going to look at this piece, but we're going to look at some ways that you can practice any new piece of material. If you follow these steps, you can basically learn anything. It might take years, but it will work. You just have to work your way through it, okay? So our first step we're going to take is we're going to try to count out all of our rhythms, okay? These rhythms are pretty simple, so it shouldn't take too much time. But what we want to do is look at this. This is actually a piano book, so it has two staffs. It has one staff for your right hand and one staff for your left hand. So for trumpet, we're only going to need to read this one, okay? So you can ignore this here. We also have chord charts up at the top for guitar or piano, but you don't need to worry about those either, okay? So we're just going to focus on our notes right here. So if you think about what we learned before, G clef, right? Treble clef. So if that's G, that's F, that's E, okay? There's not too many notes in here. We only have an E, a D, a C, and a G, okay? 4 notes in the whole thing, so not too bad, okay? But before we even get to that, we gotta deal with our rhythm. So as far as our rhythms go, we have quarter notes right here, we have a few half notes, and we also have a whole note, okay? So let's count those out. So our rhythm would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay? Now, if that's hard to do the whole thing, you could do smaller chunks, like you could do each phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then stop, and then do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and start over, or start on the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, then our last one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay? You can do that. Next thing we want to make sure is we can name our notes. Now remember, all it is alphabet, right? So if this is E, then the note under it would be D. And if that's D, the note under it would be C. Then we're back to D, back up to E. And most of this is just C, D, and E. It's with the exception of these G's right here. So we want to try to name our notes in the same rhythm that we just counted out our rhythms, okay? So we would go E, D, C, D, E, 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 D, 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 E, G, G, E, D, C, D, E, 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 D, D, E, D, C. All right? So obviously, we can't think about those notes in rhythm if we don't know the rhythm. So first, the most important thing is dealing with the rhythm. Next is knowing our notes, because if we don't know what notes we're trying to play, how are we supposed to play this thing, right? We gotta know what notes we're playing. Okay. So now we know the rhythm, we know the notes we're supposed to play, and remember, if it's tough, you can go back, try it again, or try smaller sections until it's easier, and then try the whole thing again, okay? So now we have to think, how does this work with our instrument, right? So if we're playing an E, we would play like that, right? If we're playing a D, we would play like that with my giant hand. If we're playing a C, we'd play all open. If we're playing a G, we'd play all open, but we'd have to raise our lips, raise our partial lip, right? So I'd recommend going through again and practicing your fingerings as you go through. So you'd name your notes one more time before, but you would think E, D, C, D, E, 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 D, 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 E, G, G, and then down here, you'd have, there's no way to show this without putting my giant hand in the way, E, D, E, E, D, C, D, E, 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 and then D, D, E, D, C. Okay? So if you can name your notes and do your fingerings, I think that means you're ready to play it. Now at that point, try playing it, but again, if it's tough to play it, try small bits and try it slow. If you need to go da, 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 that's okay. You can make it as slow as you need to. And as you get comfortable, the speed will just come natural. And this is something that everybody has to do if something is challenging. It doesn't matter if you've been playing the instrument for 20 years. If you're working on something that's hard for you, this is what even professionals do, is they take it really slow and they work on little tiny parts until they're easy. And then they to go a little bit faster and do a little bit more until they can finally put the whole thing together. And sometimes this can take a long time. I've worked on pieces that took me literally over a year to prepare. It's just how playing music works. But right now, we just want to get used to these. And if you practice a little bit every day, you can get through something like this pretty quick. It just takes a little bit of effort and a little bit of time, okay? So if you apply that same process to anything, you can learn to play anything as long as you know how the rhythm works, what the notes are, and then how to play those notes on your instrument. Now right now we're a little bit limited with those, but even with the tools we have, you should be able to play quite a few different things if you look up different sheet music on the internet. So I hope you can give that a try, have fun with that, and if you have any requests for anything for us to cover, first I'll probably see if I can find it somewhere else on the internet. If I can, I'll just send you a link, or I might do like a digest video, like, oh, here's some cool stuff to work on. But if I can't find anything, maybe we'll do a video for that. So if you're interested and want any help on anything past what we've done here and you can't find any other resources online, please feel free to leave a request in the comments down below with my giant hand, and hopefully we'll get to that. But if you made it this far, thanks for sticking it out, and please keep on practicing, keep on working. It gets easier, it gets more fun. It just takes time, so just keep at it and you'll get there. Yeah. So good luck, and hopefully see you next time in some other series in the future.